this again. Here I am in InDesign. I'm going to make a new file. And I'll be in inches. So let's do 11 by 17. By the way, if you hit the tab key, you can move from space to space. I like to use the tab key. Now you can set your grid up here, but you don't have to. But the important thing is this button. Let's turn it off. We're doing a single page layout. I'm going to hit create. Here's my layout. I'm going to come up to the layout button and check my margins and my columns. So let's, I'll do a 3/4 of an inch. Nice, generous margin. Your margin may vary depending on your design. I'm going to give myself 6 columns. That makes for a nice adaptive layout. I'll keep the gutter for now, but just know that you can go in and change all of this if you need to. So now I'm going to place my text file. File, place. Now I have the option of either placing, sorry, I'm just going to maneuver over to this, of either placing images or text. So in this case, I would like to place text. So let's see, go into lectures, I'll go into week 10, here we go. So here is the text. This is an RTF file. It may say .doc if it was created in Word. It may say, in other words, that 3-letter suffix tells you what program it was created in. This was created in a text program. RTF is rich text format. Now I'm going to hit open, and I'm going to draw a box right there. All right, and here's my text. Now, if I come down here, see the little plus sign? I'm going to click on that plus sign, and you can see that my cursor now is filled with text. So I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to grab it. All right, and I'll do it again. I'll come up here. So these text boxes now are threaded together. They are sisters, for lack of a better term. And so if I move one up, you can see that the text flows almost like water. So that's great, but this part here, the headline, the date, the intro copy, I don't want that to be part of this session highlight, those threaded boxes. So I'm going to grab it. I'm going to come up here and say cut. And I'll get rid of these extra hard returns. Now, I didn't do this in class, but I'll show you. I'm going to pull, just like in Adobe Illustrator, I'm going to pull myself a vertical guide so that I can pull it down. All right. And then I'm going to take my type tool and I'm going to draw a box. I'm going to paste that text. That text was sitting in the clipboard. And so there it is. All right. So I've broken this out from the threaded text box. So now what I'd like you to do, we're going to get the character tool. We're going to get the paragraph tool. These are the 2 windows that we're going to work with right now. I want you to take one of these, any one of these that you want to work with. I'm going to go in. So here's point size, here's lead or line space. So I'm going to make my point size, I'll start with 10, and I'll keep it, I'm going to keep it kind of loose, 10 on 13. We'll talk about kerning in class. So let's take a look. The first thing I've got is a headline. So let me take the whole thing. My typeface is Red Hat. So I'm going to start with Red Hat Regular. That'll kind of be the baseline. And then I'm going to take, oh, by the way, let's go to type and say show the hidden characters. That'll show us all of these funny little hidden characters. We'll talk more about these. But here's the headline. So I want that to be pretty, I want it to stand out. I'm going to make it 12 point. Now I'm going to come down here to paragraph. I know there's a whole bunch of these. This is space above and this is space below. So I'm going to add a little space below. Now I'm going to do the date and the time, and I think I'll do them bold, and I think I'll make the date a little bit bigger than the time, not as big as the headline, And again, I'm going to go into the time. I'll add a click of space below. Here's her name, his name, excuse me, I always, sorry. I'll do that medium. So, maybe not, I'll do it bold. So what you need to do, and what I noticed in class is, you want it to be a little zatsy. You want things to be a little different. Here is the person's title. I'll do that in italic. And I'll put a little air, I'll put a little air between the title. So like a little pause, a little caesura between things. And I'm gonna go back and forth. If I wanna, excuse me, if I wanna look at this without all of these lines and everything, I can come down here. You notice that I have my, my toolbox set up as a double column. I can come down here and choose the preview button. And that takes everything away that isn't going to print. So I can see what it looks like without all the grid lines. Sometimes that makes things easier. So I'm going to add some space. And then maybe I want this to be bold. And I want this to be bold. And I want this to be bold. And I'm not just going to stop here. I'm going to take a look at this and say, is this successful? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I want this to be a little less. I'm going to go over to my preferences, to my units and increments. I'm going to change my units and increments to picas. And when I do that, you'll notice that it becomes easier for me when I do my paragraph space to move in smaller increments. We'll talk about that in class. Let's see. I feel like this could be leaded, you know, a little less line space, a little more paragraph space here. It's like a dance. I'm going to keep going in and fussing. I'm not just going to do it and call it good. I'm going to design it. I want it to be easy on the eyes. I want it to be easy to read. We haven't talked about this yet, but I can go in if I want to. There's a million ways to do color, but we can just double click if we want to add a little color. You know, maybe I want to add a little something something. Right? And so I can go in, grab this hex number and copy it, Command C, go in here. There are simpler ways to do this, but I'm just doing this super fast. So maybe I want to add color. Something I can show you in class that we can talk about if you want. Maybe, now I'm going to show, I'm doing this super fast, but maybe I want to do a rule. Let me turn the preview button on. Maybe I want there to be a ruled line between each of the sessions, right? I could do that. Maybe I want this to be a different typeface. Maybe I don't want it all in Red Hat. Maybe I want it to be a mix of serif and sans serif. Now is the time to figure this out. Take one and play with it and decide how you want it to look. And then on Friday, we're going to take all of these precepts that you come up with, bold, italic, small, medium, paragraph spacing, and we're going to learn how to apply those ideas to every single category. So you don't have to do what I just did over and over and over again. But get that first one looking ship shape, looking how you want it to look. And then we'll work on applying those paragraph styles to everything. All right, give it a try.